crafty friends. So today I am getting some discarded things that I've collected. Bought some bathing suits. I had some stuff that I picked up for the summer, and I just saved the things on the side after I clipped them off, and we're going to do some stuff with. Before I show you that, I want to show you my little journals. So I picked out these 4 words: furniture, which I made a little TV set that's old-fashioned; female face, which I tried to do; and then ticket, which is something I have in my little cut-aparts that I will talk about later. And I did some glossy accents. I'm trying to make the lighting a little better for you. There's a cloudy day here today. And I did some glossy accents for the eyes to give them a little bit of color. Now, these prompts come from Ceri Griffiths. He has a YouTube channel, and I will try to remember to put the link in the show more, if I could figure out which one it was. And it's a free download, really very generous. You cut them apart, and there's, pick out things to put into a daily journal to help you with your creativeness. So I probably should have done the glossy accents on the front of the TV set, but I didn't do that. So anyway, so the thing is, we get these things, and, as a junk journaler, a mixed media person, trying to use these things instead of purchasing, right? And instead of throwing it in the garbage, maybe possibly, maybe when I go and they get rid of all my stuff, they'll throw all this in the garbage, and that's fine. Now, these things I put on the side because I'm like, God, these are plastic. What can we do with these? So I'm going to be thinking about that. If you have suggestions for that, let me know. Looks like they snap in somehow, but it's not really clear. So anyway, here are these things. This came off of a duffel bag. It's hard, really hard cardboard. These have, it's like a vellum. And I'm like, oh my God, the vellum, right? We love vellum. So got to figure something out for these things. So I'm going to play and see what I can do with this. And this box, this little box, another thing, using the cardboard from the boxes I have rather than trying to buy cardboard. So I'm looking at this and trying to determine. I don't do anything with this right now because I'm thinking maybe a little journal, maybe something that needs a little cardstock, I don't know. So I'm just going to pull it apart, check it over before I throw it out, if I throw it out. Lots of times I need something to give stability to something I'm making. And since I know it's only June, but come September, I'm going to be looking for stuff, well, even probably before that, to do for Halloween. And I'm always looking for something to give me stability that can be manipulated. And so that's all I'm doing is opening it up, checking it out, folding it over. This is what I do. I don't know what anybody else does. Sometimes it's really clear to me that I am not going to get anything well from this. So the outside is got a coating on it, and the inside is a little bit more where something could be absorbed. It's the same thing as some plastic thing that they put on it. So that's probably going to be for another time. But there it is. So I'm putting that on the side. That's going to be second. First, I'm going to show you my sticker I made. So it says, just adjust your crown and carry on. So when stuff goes, just adjust your crown and carry on. So I made that, and I put it on one of my journals. Anyway, I'm going to just play with one. try to figure out, can I take off the stuff that's been used? I can feel it. It feels like it's been embossed somehow. So I'm going to try some things. First, I think I'm going to go run off and get some nail polish remover. And we're going to try that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so trying the nail polish remover, and then first I took this thing. I was really hopeful. It didn't work. I took out my X-Acto knife. This one, the tip is broken, and it takes me a long time to change my X-Acto knives. So, but I have a couple of them. So I took out one that's a little sharper, has a better point to it, and trying to get it to work. Now the last letter seemed to come apart, which was why I was hopeful, but yeah, it wasn't working. This wasn't going to do it. It didn't dissolve anything. I tried really coating it well. It didn't do any. I don't know what they have on it, but boy, was it there. See, I think it was just, yeah, I'm not doing anything. I think it was just their, whatever process they use, that was trying to make this better for you. It's not going to come in. It just didn't do it. So I'm going to have to cover it. That's what I came up with. I figured I am not going to waste this whole thing. It's got an eyelid on it. So I took out some gesso, and I use a white gesso. I also have clear, but I used a white gesso. I also decided, you know what, I don't know, let me see. So I didn't have to do this, but since I put it out there, I thought maybe I could cover it. And then I had second thoughts. Then I realized I have the back. And I didn't want that to be showing. So I decided to cover that. And then I kind of peeled that away, and I just left a background on it. So gave it some tooth. And did I need to do that? I have no idea. I don't think so, because of what I end up doing eventually anyway. So putting those things away, I'm going through my little cut aparts, and I have, hang on one second. There, it's by Tracie Fox. I show in the further down. These are, I don't know if you call them cut aparts or not. That's what I'm calling them. So I had gotten, I think it's called Hocus Pocusy or something like that. It'll show later on. And I'm thinking, yeah, let me see. I'll do that. I like her stuff. I downloaded a whole set that was sort of witchy-like, Halloween-y. I really liked the designs and the colors, and so when I first downloaded them and printed them, my printer ran out of colored ink, and so it did it in black and white, which is why I have the black and white. And there it is. So trying to figure out what I'm going to use, what am I going to do, and I eventually settle on some other things. She has field notes, and it'll come up soon. Yeah, see, so I'm in my mind, I'm thinking that a science person, there it is, Tracie Fox Creative Hocusy Pocusy. It's a really cute little thing if you're into that or you're looking for stuff for Halloween. And she has these tags or labels, more or less. And I'm thinking in my mind, this could be for someone who found this item, and the item's going to be the black cat if you haven't figured that out yet, and is filing it in their little notebook. And so that was my thing. And I figured it has a number, it was confirmed, authentic, and I just had this whole little story in my head. does it work that way? How? It is what you want it to be, right? That's the way I look at it. So that's how I'm covering up. And I think it worked out really well. So everything's sped up, by the way. I think it's sped up 4 times because it took me over an hour. I actually, I thought about just leaving it full length, but then I thought, you don't have to watch me cut things and glue things. I'm just going to show you what I did with this and what my process is. Now, I need to cover these things, right? So I'm going to use some coffee dyed papers that I have. And I might as well tell you right now, coffee dyed papers, if you don't know. And I'm using Fabri-Tac because it's vellum and the tag on the back is very shiny. So we're going to do it that way. Now, this is, when I did the coffee dyed papers, and I think tea dyed might be better, because all of a sudden I got a big whiff of coffee. It's sort of, oh, well, all right, it's my coffee dyed papers. Well, there it is. That's it. So you got to be careful if you do that. Now I'm struggling with this glue because it's at a point, and if you've used Fabri-Tac, you know this, that it continues to come out even if you've stopped squeezing the darn thing and it's almost empty. It just sort of like the pressure inside of it continues to squish out. So I was trying to stop it, figuring I could go quick. It didn't work that way. So now one of the things is the eyelet is the only place that it's connected, and I'm trying to do the papers straight. I guess it really doesn't matter because it's sort of junky journal-y, whatever. All right, so I got smart. I decided to put the cap in my hand so at least I have a way of dealing with it. So the best part about Fabri-Tac glue is if you get it on the edges, not all the way on the edge, because it will squish out. So if you just get it close, you should be okay. So I'm taking my other piece, and we're gonna try to manipulate this so that it's in there evenly, and I'll just cut the edges off and make it work. We'll make it work. And see, I'm making sure that it's even across and that I have a little bit on both sides. And then I'll use my card and smooth it out and get all the air bubbles out. And that seems to help. Now, you got to be careful with this. So we're going to let that coagulate. And then we're going to move on. Do I start to cut it? Yeah. No, I'm going to cut it because I'm impatient. I want to see how it looks. I don't know. And I want to be very careful because I do have a problem with cutting the thing I'm using as a guide. I don't know how people do it without cutting the thing that they're using. So, but it worked. It came out all right. All right, so there is that. All right. I think it turned out really good. And I have 2 more, so I'm really happy about that. I should have had 3 more because the tags came on bathing suits, and it was a top and a bottom, and I don't know why I have 3 instead of 4, but I don't know. Maybe one is still in the closet where I took them off. Okay. So my thing is, what am I going to do? Am I going to put in the bottles? The bottles are really clever. But the cat, it's got to be the cat. So working out how I'm going to do it. Am I going to leave some room for writing? And of course, yes, I am. I'm going to do it that way. Am I going to write in it? Probably not. I have horrible handwriting. And oh, and this is another thing. Fighting with my glue. It doesn't look like there's anything there, but it's clear glue. And every time I think I've gotten it, it's not there. So I have to bring it all the way down and then see. Does anybody else struggle as I do with this? And I'm going to try to squeeze it out completely. And now I'm determined. There we go. And look at how it's completely clear. It amazes me. Had this glue for a while, and it's worked out pretty good with my journals. I've been pretty happy with it. I use a glue stick too, and I have all sorts of glue. But this has been pretty good. If you can wait, that's the problem, waiting for the glue to dry. So I'm using a Q-tip to spread it, because I find when you are using wet glue on a standard piece of paper, which is what this is, it's just plain printer paper. If I can spread it out, it dries better. And it will ooze out when I use my little card on it. But it's a lot better if you spread it on the paper that you're going to adhere to or from, wherever. So I'm really happy with that. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look for, I'm going to stash this away, I think, under something heavy so that it dries flat. And then I want a ribbon. So that will be my next thing. Yeah, here's the ribbon. So I have two different kinds. One is a little green and one is black. I really like the green better. And I started off thinking I was going to tie it at the top, and then I decided I have a better way of doing ribbons that I think are nice. Nope, turn it around the other way, Marianne. The other way. Nope. Take it out. Do it again. No. Nope. Figure it out in your brain. Yep. There you go. Okay. And so we make a little point, put it through, have the loop come over to the front, and it makes a nicer ribbon. You'll see it have a nice finished look to it. See? It looks good. Now, one thing with ribbon, this kind of ribbon, I'm just going to cut it off because I don't have my lighter with me. And the best thing to do is to just use a lighter to burn the ends, and it'll keep it from fraying. See how it's fraying like that? Yeah. So I'm just going to trim that one little piece off, and then I'll deal with that later. More than likely, I'm probably going to cut these down eventually, so that's why I'm not worried about it. There it is. I think that turned out well. We're going to put this someplace to dry, and we're going to start working on the second one. Okay, so this is the, I'm looking for something to put on this tag, and this is part of the kit that I bought from Tracie Fox. It's really pretty. I mean, my printer isn't all that great, to be honest with you. It's very old, and I had to go buy more ink, but it was worth it. So I'm thinking, what can I take from there that I can use as the background? When I finally realized that they're not wide enough, and I really don't want to cover the pictures, right? See, I have a whole stack of black and white ones that I didn't use. I did do another kit from her stuff, so I'll have to show you that. So I decide I'm going to use coffee dye papers to cover this. Now it's a tag that comes on duffel bags or purses or what have you. And I'm going to cover it with coffee dye papers and then put on this other piece that's going to turn it into a pocket, okay? I've got an emery board. It's a really rough emery board. I used to be very quickly after when I was out in California, I took a course and became a manicurist and a facialist, but I wasn't a very good manicurist because I never got a job. Well, I did get a job, but I didn't have a lot of clients. Well, I digress. We don't need to talk about that. But I had a lot of, I learned how to do fake nails and stuff. And so the really rough, you can get it at the dollar store, the rough emery board. And just roughed up the card. I don't know what else to call it because it has a real glossy finish to it. And I was afraid that if it didn't have something for the glue to stick to click, kind of gather onto. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to attach the pocket to it. All right, let's watch that one. Okay, so this is sped up. Obviously, you could see that's 4 times. Initially, I didn't feel it grasping, so I had to use a little bit more medium to get it to stick. And that's what's happening here. So the first, whether it's because of the plastic that's on the card or what, I have no idea, but it did stick eventually after I readjusted stuff. So we're going to fold that over. Now here's where some stuff happened. So you see a hole started because I pressed too hard on doing that. And so what I did is I just add some more to it and add it on there. And you know what? It's fine. It works for me. As a matter of fact, I probably could have done some stuff to clear that, make it a little bit more with some distressing or some sort, but it's not, it's fine. So cutting that all away, and this is where, so there's some bubbles. Just going to take my card and go across it, and it works. It presses everything down. It does. Sometimes, maybe not, but I don't mind the distressed look on it. So we left that there, looking and seeing where I messed up on. I cut it too close to the cardstock or to the label, whatever you want to call it. Whatever those things are that they attach to all our stuff that we buy. All right, so just fussying it around. And Buggy's giving me grief because I didn't put her on her throne. She likes to hang out in the green chair, and I didn't pick her up. So now I'm just going to adjust this and attach it. So initially it doesn't, as I'm folding things over, I feel like it's not quite small enough, so I adapt and just pull it in a little closer. You do you. You don't have to follow the lines on the piece you buy. Now, you see how I have the bottom up on top of the 2 sides? That one I think I got from May Made It. I think that's the way she folds stuff over. I may be wrong. But it keeps so when you do a pocket, you aren't catching things. You could also probably could have learned it from somebody in Stampin' Up. I can't remember. So just checking to make sure everything is pretty good. Reestablishing the hole at the top. and making everything nice and even. Now, it fits in there, which I was like, oh, you're kidding. Oh, that's great. But here's the thing. I'm not happy about the bright white. So I get my distress inks and I'm going to play because this is we're just testing things out. This is called tea dye, and frankly, it's like I just have certain amount of colors because they're kind of expensive. Had this for a long time and it's still going, so I'm happy. And then just working it out. I think it worked out nice doing the edging. I think it perfectly fits everything. I think it's going to be a nice addition to a junk journal. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you like it. Give me a comment below, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and we're just cleaning up now because how can you take a picture of all the junk that's around? All right, you guys, take care, and happy crafting.